What's going on, guys? Let's talk about X-Plane versus Microsoft Flight Simulator. 4 years ago, Microsoft Flight Simulator dropped with the most impressive promo video I've seen to date for a flight simulator. And at the time when that came out, it blew our minds. And we were like, yep, P3D is dead, FSX is dead, and X-Plane 11 is dead. Because there was no way these simulators were going to compete with what Microsoft was bringing to the table. However, fast forward 4+ years later, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why Microsoft did not kill X-Plane. And the very first reason was that Microsoft Flight Simulator was released with so many bugs and so many promises that were not delivered right away. It was a new product, but with the promo, the expectations were very high. And this happened twice. This happened with Microsoft 2020 and also Microsoft 2024. We saw the promo videos with the flying birds and the waves and the helicopters and the swaying grass in the breeze. And all these things that we saw got us very hyped for what the simulator could be. But the sim, when it was released, both 2020 and 2024, had so many bugs that needed to be worked out for it to get to a mature level where it was finally usable and pleasant to use and not having to deal with compromises. Microsoft took a very long time to get the sims up and running to the level that was promised to us, or the level that we expected it to be on release. And that was the very first reason where X-Plane still had a chance to come back and see what they could do to kind of match Microsoft in what Microsoft was offering or said they were going to offer to the people. Reason number 2 is a very simple one that I hear all the time. Many people wanted to switch from X-Plane to Microsoft and they didn't because the ease of use of that sim was not there. To set up the sim and to get it up and running and to have everything work the way you wanted to is so much harder to do in Microsoft 2020 and 2024 that a lot of X-Plane people who wanted to make the switch gave up. They didn't bother with it. They didn't want to try anymore. And worse, Microsoft 2024 and 2020 keyboard shortcuts are all completely different. It's almost like they rewrote the sim a second time with a whole different team. And that caused a lot of people with consternation. Reason number 3, server issues. And here's a big one. This was more for 2024 than anything else. 2024 was supposed to be a new way of flight simming where you download a very small file on your computer and everything was going to be streamed to you. And that promise was broken from day one. From the day the sim was released, there were many people, including myself, who could not get into the simulator because the servers were overloaded. And they have done a great job so far since that day to make it better, but I can still tell you there are server issues sometimes loading into big airports that are really busy. You try to load into LA, you try to load into London Heathrow, you try to load into San Francisco or JFK, and it will take a while for the sim to load up to you, and this is because of server. Not to mention, if your internet connection is not up to par and very fast, you're going to have issues also with Microsoft Flight Simulator, as compared to X-Plane where there are no server issues. That simulator boots up in literally 3 minutes and you can be at your airfield in your airplane ready to go. It's a big difference. Even to this day, with some of the payware airplanes in Microsoft, whenever you shift outside and come back in, you can literally see the 3D cockpit reloading in front of your eyes, right in the middle of your flight. So server issues was another big thing that prevented people from switching over completely from X-Plane to Microsoft. A big one for me was the flight model promise. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came out. They told you what the flight model was based on. The expectations were okay and the planes flew. However, right off the bat, we could tell that it would not match up to what X-Plane had to offer as far as a flight model. Not being a real world pilot, I cannot tell you what a real airplane feels like. but I can tell you what feels smooth and what feels fluid and what doesn't. And in the flight simulation space, X-Plane has the best flight model in my opinion, the smoothest flight model in my opinion, the most fluid flight model. Microsoft 2020 came around, didn't do it. 2024, they made an offer, say, hey, we've updated our flight model. We're going to take all these additional data points in the fuselage and the lift and the wing, and everybody was going to be able to switch to that in a couple hours. Never happened. To this day, none of the airplanes in Microsoft Flight Simulator can match X-Plane's fluidity of a flight model. And you can tell when you fly both sims back to back. So for the hardcore X-Plane simmers, this kept them away from Microsoft. When they tried it themselves, they came right back to X-Plane because Microsoft looks better than X-Plane. However, a lot of people prefer a more fluid flight model that X-Plane has to offer over what the beauty of Microsoft flight model is. But the final reason, in my opinion, why X-Plane is still here, with everything that's been said about Microsoft and what they didn't do or didn't deliver on, the final reason is that Laminar, which is X-Plane's developer, listened to the community and they started making improvements. And this is where competition is a good thing. Because of Microsoft Flight Simulator, Laminar improved the graphics tremendously compared to what it used to be. You used to have a dark cockpit with all the planes in X-Plane, and Microsoft had a great looking cockpit. Now X-Plane and Laminar came back and said we have to fix that because the community said, hey, look at what Microsoft has to offer. You guys need to step up, and they did. They hired a whole team of people to do art and texturing and so forth. So they did improve the graphics. They improved the atmospheric colors. Right now I think X-Plane has the best atmospheric colors in any simulator. The atmosphere in X-Plane, the sky colors looks true to life as far as I'm concerned. So my X-Plane stepped up in that realm. The clouds have been improved. Not the best yet, but the clouds are looking way better than they used to be. And on top of clouds, there's nothing better than having your weather engine working. And with the 12.3 update, now you have a proper working weather engine in X-Plane 12. It works, tilt, pan, all kinds of different things for all the default airplanes, and now the third-party developers are going to be adding that into their airplanes natively. 4.5 years later or more, Microsoft still does not have a real working weather radar in the sim. There's no API for it. What you see is just clouds. What you get is a cloud radar. There's no real weather radar in Microsoft Flight Sim, and X-Plane has that. Same thing with icing modeling and so forth. Those are the things that Laminar went back and instituted or improved upon that kept it here today. And the excitement level for Laminar and X-Plane is going up. The third-party developers are stepping up their game, coming out with new planes. We have a new Max that's on the way. We have a new 320 that's on the way. We have a A350 that's on the way. We have an A380 that's on the way. We have the best 777 right now, and eventually we'll get the 787. So there's lots of future for X-Plane. It did not die. Microsoft Flight Simulator did not kill X-Plane, and those are the main reasons. And the X-Plane flight model remains superior because this thing has been worked on for years to an obsessive level from Laminar. And these are my reasons why I believe Microsoft did not kill X-Plane when it had a chance to. Now, I for one would love to have both sims forever. I don't want one to get rid of the other. I love competition. Competition is good. Competition make things work. Competition make people step up their game and do better. But anyway, those are my points as to why X-Plane 12 is still around and Microsoft Flight Simulator did not kill it. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? In chat, let me hear your reasons why you went to Microsoft Flight Simulator, or your reasons why you stuck with X-Plane all this time, and if you're enjoying it or not. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in another video. Enjoy. Take care. Bye.